Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Ryan, a technical writer on the content team here at mParticle. Forwarding your data from a CDP to a data warehouse is a great way to maximize the value of your data over time. Using your data warehouse for long-term storage allows you to easily query historic data to gain longitudinal insights about your customers, or combine your customer data with information from other sources. In this use case, we'll explore how to collect e-commerce data with mParticle, forward this information to Snowflake, then query it to retrieve targeted audiences for analysis and activation. Let's get started. The first step to enabling the integration will be to create a warehouse, database, and schema in Snowflake by running simple SQL commands within a Snowflake worksheet. First, we'll create a new warehouse called MP eCommerce Warehouse. Then we'll make our database, which we'll call MP eCommerce Database. And we'll follow the same convention for our schema, which we will call MP eCommerce Schema. Once our database is ready, the next step is to create a dedicated role with permission to access that database. Here we're creating a new role, giving that role access to the warehouse, database, and schema we created, creating a user within that new role, and granting that new user access to the role we created. The next steps will be done from within our mParticle workspace. First, add the Snowflake integration from the Integrations directory. Then select Data Warehouses under Setup in the navigation menu, and click the plus icon to add a new Snowflake configuration. Give your configuration a name, then click Save. Click on the Settings tab within your configuration, then enter the database, warehouse, and schema names you created in Snowflake, along with the user ID and password for your dedicated user. You'll also supply an event threshold, which tells Snowflake to create a dedicated table once it receives a specific number of events of the same type, as well as a loading delay, which lets you adjust how often you want to load data into your data warehouse. Now that our data warehouse integration is configured, we can connect whichever inputs we want to the Snowflake output from the Connections page. In this case, we'll be sending events from our e-commerce app to Snowflake via a web input. Great! Now it's time to test out the connection. Here we are in our e-commerce web app that is connected to Snowflake via mParticle. Let's click around and send some events to mParticle. Now let's go to the data livestream in mParticle. We'll set message direction to outbound, and select our Snowflake connection as the data output we want to see. Sure enough, the events we just generated in our web app are all here. Back in Snowflake, we can see that our integration is indeed successful, as each of the e-commerce events we sent from mParticle are now available to view and query within our data warehouse. Based on some research, our product team believes that customers who select red sofas have a high likelihood of making follow-up purchases. Let's write a query that will select the email, mParticle user ID, and a few other data points from users who meet this criteria. After running the query, we instantly have a list of our red sofa enthusiasts. We can easily export this audience for our growth team to upload to an engagement platform of their choice, or we can run more sophisticated queries and further refine this group based on other behavioral data that we have stored in our warehouse. Here we saw how simple it is to connect your customer data to a data warehouse using mParticle, and we looked at ways you might query that data at a later date. What we did here, though, is just scratching the surface of what you can accomplish when using a CDP with a data warehouse. Hopefully, this use case has sparked your creativity and brought to mind some new ways in which you can bring your data to life. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.